Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my friends from all over the world tuning in. Welcome, welcome, long time no see. Some events in my real life kept me a bit away from the computer, but now I'm back to the usual schedule, playing the Lich, and I haven't touched this game in almost 2 months now. So I'm actually very curious how this will go. But yeah, after the mandatory COVID infection, the recovery has been very slow. Not a lot of energy left for streaming, and yeah, some other issues like vacation, going to a wedding, going a bit to Prague, having some fun, and basically just unwinding a bit. But now school's back in, and it's time for us to see what Last Epoch is all about again. Isn't that right? And of course the setting have reset it completely. Or maybe not completely, but still. I don't really like how this is going. Sure, this is a level 80 area and I'm level 70 only. But I'd like to actually see the bars of enemies as well. RGB support, low health warning. Display health bars over enemies. Or bars over minions maybe as well. Go. So let's slowly get back into it, guys. Maybe the sounds are a bit too high. And for some reasons, my bot has a name Streamlabs when it should be Laborious the bot. But anyway, forgotten a bit how I should adjust the settings and everything. So yeah, still playing the Lich, and we're going to play it until multiplayer hits. Gonna take too long now, maybe a couple of months still. And I'm actually curious to see when the missing masteries will be available for us to play. I'm actually curious to see how the Warlock fares for the Acolyte class, of course. And maybe the Rune Master or the Mage. Of course, the public version of the game is still where we left it, version 0.5F. So not a lot of things happening here. So we can just go to the objective, right? Because this is what we're doing is a Lich. AoE damage. I know the guys are working on improving the performance, so I'm actually very curious to see how this will look in the next version of the game, 0.9. And yeah, the latest game I've been playing a bit off screen has been Elden Ring, which is actually very interesting. I never played a Dark Souls game before, even though I have a lot of them in my collection. Just because I bought a lot of games over the years when they were on sale. But what Elden Ring does better is that the game is open world. So that you can actually pick your fights and not be gated by content. So that's pretty nice. I still have to see if I'm more comfortable playing it with a controller or playing it with keyboard and mouse, because moving the camera around with the dual stick controller is a bit problematic, let's say. I think it goes smoother with the mouse, especially since I'm playing a melee class. It's Confessor, I think it's called, which is kind of a melee sword and board class, sword and shield. It also has some nice starting incantations, they're called in the game, so like spells. We have an urgent heal and something that improves our stealth. So basically our steps are not heard by the enemy. I still have to understand how I can use that one. And I also got a nice Ash, I think it's called, which allows me to summon 3 wolves, so I can summon 3 minions to fight for me. But I think the game, Elden Ring, is more accessible, even for people who are new in this type of games, such as myself. Actually, curious to see if I can adjust the brightness a bit for the camera. I can also use a potion, and it should be cleansed. No? I still don't have a bell that cleanses. Effects? Well, that's kind of sad. Oh well, we'll see. So we're just doing monoliths, leveling up, and getting some better gear, hopefully. My loot filter is pretty strict, so right now I'm not interested in any items. I'm interested in yellow items with at least a tier 5 epics, and of course the exalted items. That's how they are called, right? After playing this game for 250 hours, I still don't know the terminology, right? So the purple items are the exalted items, right? Yeah, let's seal our health. Get some more potions. There you go. So I'm basically just using Depth Seal whenever it's not on cooldown, and then I just get my health back. So yeah, that's pretty good. But I think you can see me a bit too bright for some reason, so it's maybe the lights are are too bright, or maybe I have to adjust my brightness or the webcam a bit. 2 months away from streaming really makes you forget everything, doesn't it? But I've used some of this time to decompress and some of this time to just recover from COVID, which is really a bitch. It's not something I recommend you get, but hey, nobody wants it. Still gonna get it. I think it's a good time to just play some games, playing Elden Ring off screen, and also getting back into Last Epoch, waiting for the multiplayer. Instead of just following the news, it's all doom and gloom around Europe, especially here in Germany, about gas and electric energy and all that crap. So I'd rather just be playing games after work, not paying too much attention to the doom and gloom in mass media nowadays. So yeah, I was getting ready to use a mana potion, but then again, There are no mana potions in last epoch. So yeah, basically I last streamed on the 11th of July, and if you've been following the stream, I was telling you guys that I've had a throat ache for the entire week, and surprise, surprise, it was COVID. So the Monday after my last stream was on Sunday or Saturday, was it? But anyway, yeah, it was on a Saturday, and on Sunday I just woke up and it was so bad, so bad. I just took some medical leave from work and all that. So yeah, it took a while to recover because you feel like a complete lack of energy once you get COVID. Even after you recover, you get like you don't have energy to do anything. It was difficult enough to focus on my work for the first weeks, but then again, thankfully vacation came in, 2 weeks of vacation. I was able to travel for a bit. When I came back, I could have started streaming maybe 2 weeks earlier. Until Yerbun and some other viewers started asking me, hey, are you alright, are you still alive? And yeah, I was, but I was just getting lazy. And also, I think this is not an NDA break or anything like that, but I got an invitation to test the community testing version for Last Epoch. And without giving you any other details, I was also busy with that bit. Took a couple of weeks, and now they've released the newsletter or development update, and they actually said that once the new community testing version will be available, it will be available 24/7. So before that, they would test it in bursts. So for a set period of time, you could test the game, and I focused on that for a couple of weeks. But now, once they will release closed alpha, hopefully a closed beta for 0.9, it will be available all the time, so I won't take any of my streaming time for that. Yeah, I like to stream it, but it's signed an NDA and all that, so we're just going to wait maybe a couple more months, and then multiplayer will be available. And maybe not about the multiplayer itself, but actually there are performance updates. Yeah, so performance will be better without the wildly varying frame rates and all that. And of course, I'm actually interested to see when they will release the missing masteries. See the Warlock in action, see the Rune Master in action. And sure, the Falconeer for the Rogue. I've yet to play a Marksman, which is a class I'm also interested in, since I like to play ranged classes, even though I do enjoy casters more. I like to see the Marksman at some point as well. 16 waves. Okay, at least that's done. We actually check the brightness here, because I think I'm a bit too bright for what I'm intending here, but it might be something to do with, so you can see the video settings here. Brightness is auto or not. I cannot put it on auto, right? Maybe put it in like it was before. Maybe the white balance is a problem. No, then you can just see me like I'm blue or something like that. White balance is okay. Maybe a bit more contrast. Maybe saturation. Then up like this. And the brightness, I think it's just the light. I think it's just this light that's a bit too bright for me. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. I think that's a bit better, even though I do seem a bit yellow now. But yeah, just looking to brighten first. Streaming is quite complex. It's quite a complex endeavor. Lots of moving parts you have to be careful with. And I was getting pretty good, man. I was getting pretty good, but then almost 2 month break came in, so I have to remember how to do everything. But it's pretty much like riding a bike. So once you get the hang of it, which I like to believe I did, and it's pretty easy to remember everything. So in case any of the regulars are here and want to say hi, don't be shy, guys. I missed you too. So let's get it rolling again. So I'll be streaming normal, usual streaming schedule. You already know. Find it in the about section of the channel. Basically every day of the week for an hour and a half after work, starting at 5:30 p.m. Central Europe time, Berlin time, where I'm streaming from, which was 8:30 a.m. West Coast time or 11:30 a.m. East Coast time. Yep. And Fridays and Saturdays we're doing a bit longer streaming sessions, 3-4 hours on Friday and Saturday. Even though this Saturday I won't be able to attend because weddings are still not over. We're actually going to a wedding party here in Berlin. And my wife's boss is getting married or something like that. And I'll be her chaperone for the evening. The plus one is going to be a bit weird because I don't know anybody, of course. It's her work colleague, so yeah. But other than that, pretty regular streaming schedule. But yeah, you never know, because if work gets a bit more hairy and I might start a new project soon, then I might be a bit more busy. But I'll keep you up to date anyway. So in case you've been wondering if I'm still alive, guys, alive and kicking, and everything is good. Everything is good, actually. Nothing major, nothing life-changing, but yeah, just avoid getting COVID is my advice to you. Because in my case, it wasn't the virus itself, okay? You get sick, you feel better in a week or so. But after that, I felt quite a lack of energy for a month and a half at least. So that really affects your performance in the workplace, and not to mention hobbies like this little streaming hobby of mine. So just avoid getting COVID if you can. Stay indoors, lock the door, and yeah, take care. So what I'm looking for is to get to level 75 sometime this year, so we can actually change our spec a little, because I don't really need these skeletons anymore. These have been used for the leveling process, and I like to use Soul Feast. So basically just a combination of the Aura of Decay and Death Seal, AoE damage, and also life regeneration, so I can stay in the Lich form longer. Basically this is what it's all about, and they're mainly at max levels. 20 is the max level. Also some passives, yeah, one unspent point. I actually do have my reference here. I'm using a build made by Borman21 like a long time ago. I'm not really sure it's even valid anymore, but hey, we're still having fun at this stage of the game, so no problem there. Maybe in the Lich 3, see if we can put these points to use. I'm actually starting to, or trying to remember. Yeah, critical strike chance, I guess it's pretty much what is missing here. Also some, yeah, necrotic damage, I guess. Necrotic damage is better, we can just put it like this. For now it's not very important. And we can just hit all the experience nodes. Try to get as much experience as we can. Try to speed up the leveling process because this is the main focus right now. Try to get to level 75 and we'll take it from there. So Wild Gate. And with the Lich, since we do a lot of AoE damage anyway, and survivability is good, mobility is good, and all that, we can just go for the objective, straight for the objective, whenever we can. Of course, we need to kill some mobs to find the gate. Kill some more mobs, but I know this template, this map template, so it's okay. Also using the Hungering Soul, so we just leveled up the skill to shoot a single skull. Bit better single target damage because AoE wise, of course, we're pretty much covered. How many enemies do I actually have to kill? Because yeah, this class is not as much about killing hordes of mobs. Not at this stage anyway. We need more damage for that. But survivability wise, it's pretty good. Okay, so we're actually at the gate now because we traveled across the entire map. So let's do this. Nice. Let's maybe get the skeletons as well. The skeleton minions have come a long way. They've been with us from level 1 to level 75. But soon we'll say goodbye to them and replace them with Soul Feast. But they've been pretty good for leveling, at least for taking some aggro off me. Because the Lich progression, if you remembered or if you watched the stream before my break, during mid game the Lich doesn't get more powerful than in early game. It actually gets or feels a bit weaker before actually reaching the end game and becoming more powerful again. So we're now at that progression curve where we can feel that with each point, with each level, the Lich is getting more powerful and becomes more and more fun to play. Because I had my doubts at mid game that the Lich was a class I actually would enjoy. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. And I'm still looking to check out the Necromancer at some point. Wandering Spirits, but I'm not playing a Wandering Spirits build, so it doesn't matter. And for some reason, there are some comments here. For some reason, the bot for the channel doesn't have the custom name, Laborious the bot, but it doesn't matter. Because yeah, I'm using Streamlabs for my streaming needs. So let's see now. Mark for death. So if you check out the alt text here, reduces our resistance by 25%. Well, it doesn't matter too much, does it? But I would still go for as many experience nodes that I can, so we can level up as fast as possible. And the passives, yeah, we can always respect them if we're not happy with it. Skills aren't going to level up for much longer because 20 is the max level. unless you increase your max level with gear. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we can just go for the Imperial Watchers. We're just going for the objectives and just ignore these trash mobs. Desecrated flesh. Oh yeah, these are the Imperial Watchers. Now I remember. Oh, come on, come on, come on. That wasn't pretty. But of course, if you lose your health in Lich form, or Reaper form, sorry, then you just turn back to your old self and watch this countdown timer slowly going down so you can turn back into Reaper. Yeah, so these guys hit for quite a lot. And you just know me, how I like to go for high risk. Which is why I never play hardcore. Which is why I never play hardcore characters. Because I would die all the time. And it wouldn't be fun for you to watch. I was actually thinking of streaming Elden Ring. I just got the game yesterday and it's a lot of fun. I love it. But then I was checking out the Elden Ring streaming section on Twitch. So if we just go to Twitch, go to, I don't know, directory, game, we just put here Elden Ring. Yeah, so look at this. These are all the streamers, of course, viewers from high to low. And you can just see a number of viewers going down. I can just scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, still scrolling, still scrolling, still scrolling, still scrolling, still scrolling. Yeah, and it's still going, and it's still going. This is what I mean. If I would stream Elden Ring, nobody would ever find me. Like, this is a pretty fresh stream, and just looking for more viewers. Going to Last Epoch. Who's this guy streaming here? It's only me, right? So you can see me at the top. If I would stream like Elden Ring or anything like that, it would just, you would never find me, and I would stream for one viewer forever. So are we looking for legendary rings? I don't think legendary rings are what we're interested in. We're interested in experience, but I don't see any experience nodes, to be honest. I don't know. Here maybe. Let's try this one. Oh yeah, and if you're not familiar with the channel, I'm streaming with closed captions, but I'm using this like open source solution, which is hilarious to say the least. So if you're, you know, still at work or in a call or anything like that, and you're watching the stream and you have to put it on mute or lower the volume and want to see what I'm saying, don't trust the closed captions, because they're just for fun. It's just like more of an Easter egg or something for fun, because they have nothing to do with what I'm actually saying. Or sometimes I watch my streams just to, you know, take notes, try to get a bit better, and it's a lot of fun to just watch those closed captions. I have nothing to do with what I'm actually saying. Of course, we can trigger the death seal earlier, so we can regenerate our health, but usually I just keep it on for as much as possible. Yeah, it's the death seal and the aura of decay. And at level 75 I will yeah, change the skeletons for soul feast, something like that. So it's yeah, it's a pretty weird class. It's, I don't know what to compare it with from other ARPGs, and haven't played it anyway in 2 months, so I'm actually curious if the build command works and sends you to this build or not. Nah, I just use the skeletons to level up, and at level 75, I'm level 71 now, or level 75 I'll change them for Soul Feast, and also we'll change the Hungering Souls to what is called the Bone Curse or anything like that. So yeah, it's still a work in progress. This has been pretty much my leveling build to get to the end game, but soon I'm going to change things around, so hopefully this week, depending on how fast I will be able to level. Yeah, it's not really the end game build, but soon going to change it. Then again, if I wouldn't have taken a 2-month break, I would have been level 100 by now. Maybe even starting a new class. But you know what? I haven't been in any hurry, just because multiplayer will hit sooner or later, and then progress will start from 0 anyway, so no gear, no awesome stash, nothing. Just starting from 0 again, so I'm not really in a hurry to level up some more characters. But I'm actually curious to see if the build command works. Yeah, it's actually this build, so you can use the build command to see the skills I'm using right now, and yeah, the skill trees. Oh, I've been having a lot of fun in LA already. I have 250 hours in it, because I've been around for a while, also streaming, but then I took a longer break than I should have, I guess. And now I'm finally back, and it's good to be here, so thank you, Amon. Seeing some familiar faces around here as well. But yeah, once we're back in it, I'm sure the chat will get a bit more lively again, just the way I like it. And I like to talk to you guys, not just speak by myself. But for now, it is what it is. I can remember I know the internet has short memory, and yeah, a streamer that is away for 2 months, it's like he never existed. He or she or them or whatever it's politically correct to use these days. Don't want to offend anyone. So Void Spire here, but unfortunately we still have to wait a bit. Come back into Reaper. I like to do that to be on the safe side. So now I just use the Hungering Souls on the Spire. Oh man, these crabs are annoying because they're big. My Reaper is big. And yeah. So the Void Spire is still alive because I cannot hit it. These extra large crabs. Man. Big case of the crabs. I remember in World of Warcraft, in Cataclysm, I think it was the underwater area. So one of the first areas you could go to. And there was a quest called A Case of Crabs. And of course, the game was... yeah, the quest was about getting an actual case, a physical case full with crabs, like the animal. But the entire quest text and everything was, you know, written like full of innuendos. That, yeah, the quest giver was so happy that I gave her a case of the crabs. Jesus. That was Blizzard for you in the good old days, I guess. You wouldn't see them do something like that anymore. Come on, give me mana potions. Mana potions, game. Mana potions. Why can't I use mana potions? Yeah, originally the designers of Last Epoch wanted to make a system similar to a potion management system in Path of Exile, but then they just scrapped it and went for this system closer to Diablo 3 instead. Because reasons, I don't know, it's their game, it's their design decisions, so not much we can do about it. Yeah, no experience nodes. Do I want to actually increase corruption on the normal level monoliths? Well, let's try. Let's try fight Orobis just for fun. Yeah, it would be just too much, right? If you would also have mana potions. By ruining them, you mean making them so good? Then yeah, I agree. Who knows what ideas they'll have for the seasons, for the cycles in this game? What kind of modifiers to get? Maybe we'll have a cycle with like mana potions. Let's see what builds people come up with. How many waves? 14 waves. Could be worse. Could be better, could be worse. I have to start learning to articulate words. Less is more. Talking less is more. Less is better. True. The class I played the most was a sorcerer, lightning sorcerer, and I was using focus, I think it was called, a channeling spell, with also some nice modifiers from the skill tree that would give me some resistances, some damage absorption as I was channeling to get my mana back. But I was ending up using it a lot because I was balancing the character around 300 mana and I was always running out of mana. So actually playing the Lich is just, you can turn your mind off a bit more and just yeah, it's the sorcerer. For me the lightning based sorcerer is pretty balanced and I played like 150 hours with it. Also because the sorcerer is pretty much done as a class. It's pretty much finished, it's pretty balanced, right? It was a static warp sorcerer for AoE, and the lightning blast I modified it to just hit single targets, and I was yeah, regenerating a lot of life. It was also using a nice kind of exotic combination of equipment. The prism wraps, I think it was, for chest, and the twisted heart of Icaros. Yeah, and I was the twisted heart of Icaros on hit. It would convert health points to what's it called, the energy shield, and then to recover my lost HP, I was using the prism wraps, which gives me health leech based on the elemental damage I did. So I was ending up with like 3000 energy shield and also, I don't know, 2500 HP or so. That was pretty good. It was interesting. People are always wondering what I'm doing with my health, because my health was all over the place with the sorcerer. But yeah, I think I have the build around here somewhere actually. Let me just check if I have it saved somewhere. Because I was just as we have the build command here on the channel, you can see the build for the leech. I also had the build for this sorcerer. I only have the original one from Raid the product, or what Jay the product, I think. There's also a streamer who took this build from somewhere else and adapted it into a YouTube video, and then I stole it myself. Yeah, the classic. So it was pretty good. I liked it. No! Lost my Reaper form. I'm actually curious if we can never fought our abyss with the Lich. Even if these are the normal monoliths, not the empowered ones. I'm still always afraid of our abyss. And let's also not forget about his melee hit, which is pretty insane. Why do you resist, Orobus? Why do you resist? Just surrender already. As maybe summon the skeletons, which are pretty useless at this point. I must admit, the skeletons are pretty useless at this point, but in mid-game they were pretty helpful. Just for getting some aggro off me. Right now we're just leveling up to 75-ish, and then we'll respec. Okay, arrivederci. That wasn't too hard. Siphon of Anguish. Melee damage, void damage. Well, I'm not doing any melee damage or void damage, am I? Okay, so we actually increased the corruption on a normal level monolith. But then again, the areas here are level 80 and I'm still level 71, so we're going to spend a bit of time here actually. So experience here. Movement speed and damage, high speed and damage, high speed and crit chance. I don't like high speed mobs, to be honest, but it is what it is. What about you, Amun? What's your favorite build so far? Yeah, you're right. I guess I'll go to level 90 monolith soon. Thank you for letting me know. I'll just finish this one and then we'll go for the boss. As I was saying, I haven't played in 2 months and I'm completely tabula rasa by now. I didn't really touch the computer in the past 2 months in the summer. So I've forgotten a bit about how the game works, but will come back to me like that. So have no fear. Void horrors, void horrors. Yeah, after farming Elder Gaspar for 110 times and still not getting the Ravenous Void Gloves, I don't want to see any more void horrors like ever. What was the monolith called? The Last Ruin. It was full of void mobs. God, the memories. So you have both Soul Feast and Hungering Souls, because this is the Hungering Souls. You have both Soul Feast and Hungering Souls, right? I'm actually going to ditch the Hungering Souls and use Soul Feast. I might be talking out of my ass because, as I was saying, Lich is not my specialty, but it looks pretty unique. It's a pretty unique class, specific to, let's say, Last Epoch. I'm trying to copy classes from other games, let's say. And yeah, I'm actually trying to learn this class a bit better. Yeah, Marrow Shards. I think I've seen a build with Marrow Shards in Lizard's IRL channel. He was playing something like that at some point. Yeah, sure. I'd actually like to play with some viewers as well, but probably end up playing by myself. It depends on how good they make the tool for finding a group. Because if it's just going to be a bit bare bones, then yeah, we're going to end up playing by ourselves in the beginning anyway. But I think the first class I'll play in 0.9 will be the Necromancer. Mastery, sorry. I think nowadays server performance can be solved easily by just buying more virtual machines. So I think that's not going to be an issue. They have EAG has the money to buy more VMs if there are any, you know, server performance issues. We'll just have to see. No, I don't think it will be the case. Search for the rest of the caravan. Okay. What's next? Defend the living from the void. Okay. Ooh, I'm not sure what Spirit Plague is, to be honest. Spirit Plague. Aha, Spirit Plague. First the target apart from the crowd damage over time effect, express to single nearby target's own target depth. Hmm. Mm-hmm. I'll keep it in mind. Basically, what is this? Spirit Plague? And what about speed? Increase cast speed? No. In mana? Oh, I see. I see. I'll have to think. I'll have to think about that. Think about that actually. Okay, what am I doing here? Death Seal, Soul Feast. Actually. Yeah, I'll think about it. I see. Uh-huh. Vanguard. I see. True. I get it. Well, it's yeah, it's an interesting take. I have to think about it. Maybe I should kill the Idol of Ruin first.
Let the void take you. The abyss calls to us. Can't you hear it?
But he'll do that lightning thing. Kill me? Oh, maybe not.
Gods, emperors, it was all for nothing.
Oh, there goes my mana.
Let the void take you. The abyss calls to us. Can't you hear it? Drown in darkness.
Well, not the best place to stay in.
Gods, emperors, it was all for nothing. Death is different. Am I finally free?
Amulet or relics. I'll just select amulet. The apocalypse buff. What is the apocalypse? Doesn't tell us. Yeah, I have a Marina's Last Soul, whatever it's called, lying around. Speaking of ones. I guess I can move to Reign of Dragons now. My stash is gone. I was thinking of using that one, but I need access to my stash. To show you the one meaning. So let's see. Once. I don't have a once section in the uniques. Let's see, Marina. Yeah, this is the one. Marina's Last Soul. Requires level 78. So increase necrotic damage. I'm trying to go for necrotic damage. That's why I'm not going to specialize too much in poison. I just have the aura of decay because it generates my life with each tick. Increase spell damage, increase cast speed, increase effect of possess, inflicted by hungering souls per stack of damned on you. You are damned when you cast a spell. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a bit confused, as you can see, but it will come back to me. Because I know I had a plan when I started playing this Lich. I knew I wanted to do something with it, but now for the life of me I cannot remember. I have some builds saved, and yeah, I guess I'll take inspiration from here and there. Well, I told you I played the game a lot, so and I actually farmed Elder Gaspar at 500 plus corruption for 110 times. Well, I've increased the corruption, but I think at 500 corruption I farmed him for like 50 or 60 kills. So you can imagine I got a lot of drops. Everything you can imagine. I have a stash full of them. This is why I'm not really in a hurry to level up too many characters to level 100, because multiplayer will hit soon and then everything will be resetted. We'll start with empty stashes again. Yeah, and depends on the mastery, because I told you that the sorcerer is, you know, one of the masteries I can understand. At least for me, is the easiest to understand. But the Lich is, yeah, it's quite different. So, and I've played this for like, I don't know, 20 hours or something, so not a lot. Not to mention the break, so this is the first time I'm streaming and playing the game in 2 months. So the last time I streamed / played the game was the 11th of July, now it's the 5th of September, so yeah, I'm completely tabula rasa. I don't remember anything. But I'd rather, instead of switching skills around, I'd rather not do that and just do switch skills according to the plan I had. Because yeah, of course, passives you can just respec, spend some gold, but for skills, you change them, then you have to level them, then you change them again. It's just not efficient. Yeah, yeah. It seems easy at first, and it was just fun. It was just funny in the chat. I since turned off that there were some active players around there all of the time, and they were just telling new players, yeah, just try any build. Any build works in this game. I was just speaking really, because no, it doesn't. Just get to at least 300 corruption and you'll see it doesn't work. Or just go to tier 4 Jura and you'll see it doesn't work. But yeah. Hope dies last. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I agree. But first you have to get to level 100, yeah. I'm actually curious if I'll be able to until multiplayer hits. But if not, we'll start again fresh. So yeah, I guess in 0.9 it will either be a Lich or a Necromancer as the first starting class. Even though, of course, Sorcerer is a great and cheap starting class as well, the Lightning Sorcerer. We'll just see. So this is like what, the crab only map? Because we do have like maps with only one type of mob, just for fun, just for kicks. Unbelievable. Because I'm sure not all of them are coming from the storm gate. I didn't even activate the storm gate, so this is like crab only map. Sirens and all that. Same types of mobs. So these big crabs are the worst because the Reaper is big, the crabs are big, and I just can't move around because of them. And of course they have a ton of life as well. But then again, you might be biased, someone, because this is your favorite class after all. So. You never know which surprise you're going to see on the ladder. But I guess 50% of players will just play Necromancer. Something tells me that is going to be the case. Suggestion time. Let's get out of here. God. If I would have tried to kill all the scraps, it would have taken me an eternity. Yeah, who will? We'll be on top of the ladder. Lizard RL. So I'm trying to build this lich around necrotic damage. And the poison is just from the Aura of Decay release, so yeah, I don't think I'm going to specialize it on poison too much. Sure, at level 100 as you say, you can just switch skills around, see what fits. Actually, that bone marrow build I saw in Lizard Tyrell's stream was also pretty good. It's pretty interesting take on things. So yeah, I think after this echo, I'm going to go offline for today. I usually stream a bit longer every day, but this has been the first day in a long time, and it was more of a test stream to see if everything works. And surprise, surprise, everything does, more or less. I don't know why the channel bot doesn't have a custom name anymore, but. Probably a setting I forgot to turn on. Alright, but that is pretty good. Well, come on. Fighting chance. Yeah. Seen this too many times already. Guys, thank you for joining today. Just a short test stream, but yeah, I'm glad to see you here, and also thank you, Amun, for being chatty enough and helping out with the build for the Lich. I'm going to hit the guides and the builds a bit more this evening to see which combinations we can get. But basically, I'm trying to build this as a necrotic damage build, so we'll see how that pans out. I want to thank you very much, and you guys for joining. I'll see you tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Central European time. That is 11:30 a.m. East Coast time, and of course 8:30 a.m. West Coast time. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.